Don't know what's going on there, but let's go ahead and get started. So we'll take a comfortable seat. Roll the shoulders up and away from the ears. Keeping the chest lifted. We'll just drop the nose a little bit toward the floor. Eyes can be closed, or if you keep them open, starting to become aware of your peripheral vision. So starting to widen the vision if your eyes are open. Connecting with your breath. And tuning into the state of your body, state of your being. What is it that you need from your practice today? Can you prepare the body and the mind to receive that thing that you need today? Can you open space? Moving into the Ujjayi breathing technique. So starting to widen the back part of the throat. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, thinking of widening the ears. You might start to hear the breath. The tongue is soft and forward. And starting to lengthen out that breath. So drawing the breath into the belly, but really starting to listen for the breath. Can you hear the breath moving along the soft palate, the back of the throat? In Iyengar yoga, they talk about the Ujjayi breath as being a way of opening the channels in the body. So this wide-eared, wide mouth kind of breathing with the mouth closed, but widening the back side of the mouth. It brings the most amount of oxygen to our cells. So anytime during your practice, whether it's slow or whether it's strenuous, you can come to this Ujjayi breath. Keeping the breath flowing, we're going to allow the eyes to open a little further or completely open if they were closed. Staying in tune with the body, with the breath. And then from here, I'm going to start to roll the neck. So you're going to draw a circle with the tip of the nose. Keep your eyes soft, or keep your eyes like open but aware of your surroundings. Staying connected with the sensation of breathing. we'll pause in this direction and we'll circle the other way. Again, big circles with the tip of the nose. And then the next time that your nose is toward the floor, I'm going to pause there. And I'm going to nod the head. So I'm going to lift your nose up and all the way back behind, really opening the neck. And then lower the head down. So it's like you're saying yes. So you're going to lift and lower the head. Just trying to find where the endpoints to this motion. Where's my maximum range of motion? Lifting and lowering the chin. And then we're going to work our way to the nose level with the floor, so right in the center point. And then we're going to shake the head no, turning left and right. Not too fast. We're just really kind of feeling out where are the end points in my ability to look over my shoulder. Trying to not turn the chest to do this, just really in the head of the neck. And then we'll work our way back to center. Let's pick up your left hand. We're going to take your left hand up and over your head. So bringing that elbow in, really kind of close to the head, but not touching the head. Now bend your elbow and drop your hand straight back down. So it's like at the base of the neck or maybe a little bit lower. And then you're going to pick up your other hand, grab a hold of your elbow and start to pull it behind you. So it's taking it back behind the head toward what's behind. So notice if you changed the chest or the torso in any way. Just try to work this at the quadrant or the tricep muscle. And then we'll release there. We're going to bring your left hand now behind you, all the way around behind. Maybe you got your fingers on the other side. Then take your right hand and try to grab your elbow behind you. See if you can reach the elbow. You might not be able to reach the elbow, but start to pull where you can, grabbing maybe the forearm, starting to pull with your right hand. See if you can pull your left hand out a little more. So can you take it toward that right side? So it's like you're turn around here. Grabbing a hold of this arm and pulling it. So I'm pulling actively with this hand, trying to bring my fingers a little more toward the side. And we'll release that arm, release that shoulder, and come to the other side. So I'm going to take the right hand up. So again, try to bring your elbow in close to your head, but not smashing against the head. And then bend your elbow and drop your hand straight down the back, like by the base of the neck or a little lower. Your other hand comes up behind, grabs a hold of that elbow and starts to pull it behind your head. Just noticing what may happen here in the chest when you do that. Release here. I'm going to take the right hand now, bending your elbow, take the hand around the back. So your fingers are starting to come through on your left side. Reach around with your left hand, maybe grabbing the elbow or the forearm, and then pull. Try to bring the fingers a little more over to that left side. Seeing what our motion here, range of motion is. All right, go ahead and release. Shoulders nice and open now. Let's come on to hands and knees. And once you're here, we'll do some cat-cow, so tailbone up, chest up. On your inhale and exhaling, arching the back. Just moving back and forth here. And the next time that you're in a cat pose, that will be the last one. We'll come back to a neutral spine. And then from here, I'm going to take your right ear and your right hip toward each other. So lengthen out the left side of the body. And then we'll come through center and over to the other side. Left ear toward left hip. And I'm just going to go back and forth here. So keeping the back level with the floor, we're just trying to bring hip and ear toward each other. And then we'll work our way back to center here. I'm going to bring the hands a little forward and your elbows down onto the floor. So first we're going to bring your elbows down and then turn your palms up. Then you're a little bit forward, so your hips are not exactly right over your knees, so just a little bit forward here. Elbows underneath of your shoulders. You're going to roll the front side of your elbow down. Palms up, and keep your elbows where they are. I'm going to bring your hands together now and interlace your fingers. So interlacing the fingers and push the hands, the wrists, the forearms down into the floor. And I feel nice and strong here. Draw your shoulders back, away from the ears, back towards your hips. So actively pushing into your hands and your forearms, keeping those broad shoulders. You're going to slip your knees back a little bit further towards your feet and start to lower your hips down. We're coming into a half version of dolphin pose. So you're going to walk your knees back behind, starting to bring your hips in line with your knees and your shoulders. Any amount here, actively pushing into your hands and your forearms. Now, if it becomes too strong in the upper body, you can always take your hips back more towards your feet. If you want more, then you can take your knees more away from your shoulders. So starting to lengthen a little more. And if you really want to, you can lift your knees off of the mat. I'm just going to actively push down into your hands, your forearms. Try to take the weight off of your elbows as much as you can. So not totally off the elbows, just distribute. Hands, forearms, keep those shoulder blades wide. A couple of breaths more. And then we're going to release. So you can walk your knees back in towards your elbows and bring your hips all the way back to your heels for a prayer pose. You can release the arms, straighten out the arms. Breathing here. On an inhale, we'll come on back up to hands and knees. And then walk your hands a little forward, now half plank pose. So elbows are straight, shoulders over the wrists, hips in line with your knees and your shoulders. Actively pushing down into the hands. And tuck the toes of your right foot, straighten out that leg, 3/4 plank pose. Just the right leg straight here. And then we'll bring the right knee down. Let's try the other side. Press back through your left heel, left knee straight, 3/4 plank. And we'll bring that knee down, coming back into your half plank pose. Elbows in close now. I'm going to lower down to the floor. Once you're down, we'll lift the head and the chest, cobra pose. And we'll lower back down. Now slide your elbows under your shoulders for Sphinx pose. So elbows down, hands are shoulder width apart, shoulders down, away from your ears toward the hips. Lift the head and the chest. If this feels okay on your back, you can kick your feet up toward the ceiling. And then from here, I'm going to take your left arm and turn it inward so you can open the right side of the body. You're going to reach back for your right foot. So your left arm is supporting, left elbow down on the floor. And reach back for your right foot. Your left foot could come to the floor. So you can straighten out your left leg. You're grabbing a hold of your right foot with your right hand. And then we're going to try to bring your hand to the top of your right foot and your elbow up toward the ceiling. So that means it's going to give you a little bit stronger push. You're starting to push your right foot toward your right hip. Then we'll release that side. We're going to come to the other side. So you're going to support your upper body with your right elbow and arm. And bend your left knee, reach back for your foot. And then from here, if you still want more, you could start to take your elbow up toward the ceiling on that side, bringing the left hand on top of the foot and starting to push. With your arm strength, you're bringing your foot a little closer to your hips. And then we'll release that side. We're going to bring both hands now by the shoulders. Elbows in, we'll push up to half plank pose. And then we'll bring the hips back. We're going to work our way up to standing. So keep walking your hands in closer to your knees, and then however works for you, come all the way up off of the mat. Standing in Tadasana, mountain pose. Trying to breathe all the way down into your feet. So you find the feet on the floor, lifting the toes, spreading the toes. Connecting with active feet. You're going to lift the hands up and over the head. Palms together, crescent pose to the right, dropping down, side bend. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, crescent pose, other side. Inhale, back up to center, coming into chair pose. Bend both knees. Tailbone toward the floor, chest open. And pressing the feet, come on up and release the arms. We're going to work on tree pose, standing on the right foot. So using any support or being near any support that you like. Right leg is taproot leg. Left foot comes up, taking that knee out to the side. Tree pose, any version. Connecting with the breath, maybe connecting with that intention or the sense of where you want to go with your practice. And with control, we're going to come on out of that side. And as you're ready, reconnecting with the body. We're going to work on the left side. So left leg tap, root side, new experience. Right foot comes up. Any version of tree pose. Staying with your breath, staying with your intention. And if it's not challenging enough, you could try things like looking up toward the ceiling or closing your eyes. So you stay right on the edge of what is challenging today, using that to stay present. And then we'll come on out with control on that side. All right, good work. We're going to work our way into triangle trikonasana. And yeah, no, let's just do it this way. So we're going to start with that right foot forward for our triangle pose. Right foot forward, left foot back, toes in on your left foot, hips in line with the feet, arms out. When you're ready, triangle pose, trikonasana. Come on down. So your right hand could be on a block or on your shin, or it could be resting in the front of the shin. I'm going to try and bring your head, shoulders, everything in line with that left foot. Top hand right on top of your bottom hand. So nice big long line in the arms. And then toning the muscles around the right knee, we're going to bend that knee and come up to warrior two. Virabhadrasana 2, shoulders over the hips. I'm going to walk your right toes forward. So give yourself another couple of inches and drop the hips straight down between the feet. So you're going to come a little bit lower here, a little stronger posture. And then bend your right elbow, bring the forearm to your thigh and your left hand to your left hip. So just resting the forearm down to start here. Bend your right knee a little more, take the hips down toward the floor. Strong legs, particularly into that left foot. Shoulders stay back. And from here, take your left hand around the back of the body. See if you can grab a hold of your right leg. Just want to draw that shoulder way back. Still keep those hips low. Breathing. Now, if you feel solid in your ability to hold here, you might turn the nose up toward the ceiling. So you're going to rotate with that left shoulder, looking up. Now, if that doesn't work for the neck or your balance, just keep looking where you need to. And to release this opposite the way you got in. So if you look toward the ceiling, you can look back down, release that left arm and come on up, warrior two. And then you can straighten both legs. We're going to work our way to the other side and come into Trikonasana on the left side. So again, both feet are in a line. Both hips are in line with your feet. Shoulders stacked on top. Arms out when you're ready. Active feet, active legs. Trikonasana. Come on down. So your left hand could be on a block or your shin or right in front of the shin. Both legs straight, length in the side bodies, so particularly that left hip to left shoulder. Try and lengthen out. And the hands are right over top of each other. The arms are straight. See if you can line up your top hand with your bottom hand. And then toning the muscles of that left knee. We'll bend the knee and come on up, warrior two. From here, I'm going to inch the left foot forward, another couple of inches. I'm walking those toes forward, and then bend the knee a little more, taking the tailbone straight down between the feet. Strong legs. From here, we'll bend the left elbow, forearm to the thigh, dropping the hips down a little more. Right hand on the right hip, draw the shoulder back. So really twisting here, opening the chest. Keeping those hips low. And then you can slip your right hand around behind you. See if you can come to the top of the left thigh. And then the last part, if you want to look up toward the ceiling, opening the neck and twisting. So if you think about the whole spine here, you're turning the upper body toward the ceiling, fully rotating as much as you can around the spine. The hips stay low and in connection with your right foot. So really, you're twisting around the whole axis of the right side of the body and your spine. And then to release, we release the head and then the right arm, and we'll come on up to warrior two. And then you can release the arms and just step the feet together. All right, now let's come on down to the mat. Yeah, let's just come onto the back. If you have a block, let's have a block close by. So we'll come down, knees bent, feet on the floor, and the back of the body down. I'm going to start in a bridge pose. So we'll walk those feet a little closer toward the hips, lining up the outside edges so that they're parallel. And the hands may start down by the hips, tops of the shoulders down toward the floor. When you're ready, push into your feet, lift the hips straight up toward the ceiling. Shoulders push down into the mat. You might arch the back a bit, coming into your bridge pose. And then we'll lower the hips back down to the floor. I'm going to draw your knees in for a happy baby pose. I'm going to reach down, grab your feet or your shins, separating the feet, taking them up toward the ceiling. All right, from our happy baby pose, we're going to release those feet back down to the floor. I'm going to grab a hold of your block. I'm going to come into a supported bridge pose. So push into the feet, lift the hips, slip your block underneath at any height. But when you set the hips down, make sure you're not pinching your lower back. You're supporting the sacrum bone. And it should feel fairly comfortable. So you could be at any height that you need here, not in the lower back. And then holding on to your block just to make sure it doesn't flip. We're going to kick your feet up toward the ceiling. And depending on how high you are on your block, you might want to draw your shoulders underneath and down toward the floor. So it's just like you're in a bridge pose. And then if you don't need to hold your block, if it feels like it's not going to move, you could release your hands. And from here, we're just going to circle the feet at the ankles. So draw circles with your toes, just rotating the ankles. I'm going to pause in that direction, circle your ankles the other way. And then coming back to neutral ankles, I'm going to take your left foot over your head and kick your right leg forward. Now your right foot may not come all the way to the floor, that's okay. If you want to, you could reach your hands around your left leg, starting to pull that foot, that leg a little more over your head. Coming into reclined splits. release that side. We're going to switch. So we'll bring the feet up together again, and then right foot over your head, left leg now extends. You might reach the hands around the right leg and a little more pull. So we're going to separate the feet as much as we can. Then we'll release, bringing the feet back together again, up toward the ceiling, and then separate the feet into a V shape. So your hands could come to the thighs for support if needed. Just letting gravity do the work here. So just kicking into your heels, so you're straightening out the legs, and then just letting gravity take them down. And then we'll bring the feet back together again, up toward the ceiling. I'm going to bend the knees, but keep your feet off of the floor. Bending the knees together, feet together, still off the floor. I'm going to work on the abdominals here. Slowly start to lower your feet toward the floor. Now, if you want a little more challenge, when you get to about halfway, pause there and try to straighten your legs. And if you can do that, so I'm going to hold for as long as you like, and then you'll bend the knees back to come back to that halfway position and slowly lower a little further. And the last one, if you want the challenge, you're hovering over the floor, try to straighten the legs. Pulling them back in when you're ready. And finally, setting them down on the floor. From here, once you're fully down, push into the feet, lift the hips, remove the block, and lower the hips back down to the mat. We'll draw the knees in toward the chest, and you can wrap your hands around your shins or your knees. You might rock side to side, massaging the back. And coming back to center here, we're going to work on the abdominals once more here. Take a deep inhale into your belly. On your exhale, abdominals toward the floor, lift the head and the chest. Bring your nose toward your knees and squeeze. Holding that exhale out, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Inhale and release the head back down to the floor. Nice inhale into your abdominals. On your exhale, abdominals toward the floor, lift the head, bring the nose toward the knees, squeeze with the arms, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Hold that exhale out, squeeze. Inhale and release. Nice big inhale into the abdominals. Last one here. Exhale, abdominals toward the floor. Lift the head. Bring the nose toward the knees. Bring the knees in. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Hold that exhale out. Squeeze. And release. Inhaling back down. And then we'll bring the feet back down to the mat. Knees bent. And let's do this one. We'll extend the right leg long on the floor, left foot on the right thigh. Coming into the twist, we'll take the right hand to the left knee, roll all the way over to the right side. The knee may come to the floor. Open the chest toward the ceiling, left shoulder down. On inhale, we'll roll on back to center. And we'll switch sides, making sure spine is center. Then we'll extend the left leg long, right foot on the left thigh. Left hand grabs a hold of the right knee and pulls it all the way over to the left side. Dropping the right shoulder toward the floor and opening the chest. On inhale, we'll unwind and come back to center. I'm going to move into a little free form yoga. So just really tuning in to what your body is wanting right now. Soften the eyes, just kind of get a sense for what do you need. About a minute or so before Shavasana, so just trying to find what do you need. Do you need to move? Do you need to come to stillness? This is how we learn to listen to our inner teacher. Just move in any way that feels like what you need right now. And as you're ready, after you finish what your body needs, you can work your way into a Shavasana. Allow the breath to deepen. And some movement to return to the body. And as you're ready, make your way to a seated position. Hands together at the heart. Thank you all for joining and for sharing your morning practice with me and the others on the call. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in class again. Namaste.